You see that? That's what a real African champ looks like. See, Kamaru Usman and Israel Adesanya, still, months later, they're still going on about this first African champ comment from Dricus to Plessis, and they're still misunderstanding his point. And really, this video is mainly about Kamaru Usman, because to be honest with you, just when I thought I was starting to like Usman and root for Usman and become a fan of Usman, now this bald-headed freak, he's had a bad media week. He also says a Belal Muhammad fight does nothing for him. We'll get to that later. But let's start with this. And we're going to react to some comments as well because our good old pal, I don't know him. He doesn't know who I am, but we all know him in the MMA community. Kenny Okoye, whatever his name is. I was going to say MMA Okoye. Kenny Okoye is... Anyways, let's just react to this. And yeah.
Let's just talk about it. You know, there's no running from it. Let's talk about it. The controversial thing that happened with the whole situation. And I'll sum it up as this. It's deep. It's very, very deep. You know, it might go over a lot of people. It might go over a lot of people's head.
Even in America, there's racism here, but they don't understand the levels.
It's very, very deep.
The levels of racism is what Israel Adesanya is saying. Okay,
but
and Usman keeps saying it's deep. He's sounding like John Jones and Dana White every fucking night. It's very, very deep. It's very deep. Though knowing Jones is probably not that deep. Anyways,
here's the situation, and this is where it rubs me wrong because obviously I'm black. You know, African and American, and I see.
Me too.
How things are. I see how I'm treated. You know, race or not doesn't matter. But this is what kind of got me is when you come in, and there's 3 African kings already. Why is your mentality? Why is your whole thought process not to? Man, I want to be the 4th African champion.
Because he legitimately still trains out of South Africa. That's it. There's no deeper. He's not racist. Dricus Plessis is not a fucking racist, okay? It's because he legitimately still trains out of South Africa. That's it. He is in Africa. He trains out of Africa. He fights out of Africa. You know, let's remind you guys of what his comments were. Let me try to find it right now. For some reason, this took me forever to find, but here are Dricus' comments about him being the real African champ, or the true African champ, whatever he says. Let's listen.
And then, obviously, this time last year, 3 African champions. That has obviously changed. Is it a little does it bum you out? There's not as much gold potentially going back the next time they go? Or do you see this as an opportunity? Now you do get to be the guy if and when they show up to Africa.
Well, I mean, did those belts ever go to Africa? As far as I know, it came to America and New Zealand. I'm going to take a belt to Africa. I'm the African fighter in the UFC. Myself and Cameron, we breathe the African air. We wake up in Africa every day. We train in Africa. We're African born. We're African raised. We still reside in Africa. We train out of Africa. That's an African champion, and that's who I'll be.
So I don't even think he says, I'm the real African champ. I'm the true African champ.
Thank you.
I mean...
Hey, Dricus, right here.
We can keep listening.
Just kind of going off what everybody else said. Does it kind of feel like Cam Simon is like...
Yeah, I think, and then this guy's just from full send. I think he doesn't even say, like, I'm the real African champ. I'm the true African champ. I mean, that's why it took me so long to find his comments on this. Because, correct me if I'm wrong, you guys can let me know in the comments. He does not explicitly say he's the real African champ. His whole point is basically, even if he says it or not, look, his whole point is basically... He resides in Africa. He still fights in Africa. Those belts were never brought back to Africa. When Izzy won the belt, he didn't go to Africa and parade around with the belt. He went to fucking New Zealand. You know? Why do you think they always put him on the Australian cards? Usman, when he won the belt, did Usman go to Africa and hold it? So why are you going to claim you're the real African champion and then you don't even fucking train out of there? Dricus actively trains in Africa. Actively lives in Africa. You know? So I do not blame him for thinking this mentality. But they get so butthurt over it. Again, it's just ridiculous. I mean, when you come in there and there's 3 African kings already, why is your mentality not, man, I want to be the 4th African champion? Because of his entire point that you guys don't really represent Africa. You guys just don't. Not the way he does. When he walks down with the South African flag and he's always... You could fucking hear it in his accent. The guy is South African through and through. He still lives and trains there. You know, Izzy, he doesn't know if he's Chinese. He doesn't know if he's from New Zealand. He fights in fucking Australia sometimes, but then he says he's African, but then he's also Nigerian a little bit. And then Usman doesn't know what he is. None of these guys know what they are. I'm American, but I'm African, but I'm also Nigerian, but I'm also, you know, come on. It is what it is. It's not a colonial mindset. It's not a racist mindset from Dricus to Plessis. It's the proper mindset. And speaking of racist mindsets, we can go to the comments here. Hopefully this doesn't get too dicey. But, right, so the first comment. Dricus was right all along. If anyone is racist, it's them. It's not just about the color of your skin. Dricus lived and trained in Africa. Let that sink in, Chinese guy. Yeah, I mean, that's my point. Again, I'm not trying to make this a racist thing or like, I'm just speaking what I believe is the truth. And that is that I don't believe Dricus is wrong in this scenario. I think they're wrong. He's the one that still actively lives and trains there. Again, especially because it's not very safe for guys that look like Dricus right now in South Africa. If you know, you know. Kenny Okoye, of course he's under these comments. He says, comments under this post are so dumb, but I don't expect racist MMA fans to understand a single thing that was said here. So let's just call people racist who are opposing the viewpoints of Israel Adesanya. Let's just call them racist. Yeah, let's paint them as just a racist. I mean, it is what it is. I'm not going to talk too much shit. I know Okoye he's bigger than me right now. But you know, it is what it is. Let him have that mindset, I guess. I mean, you know what? I want to see what are the replies to Kenny Okoye. Are they agreeing with him? This goes hard if you're retarded. If DDP said this and he was black, you wouldn't have a problem with it. So you might be the racist. Yeah, I mean, exactly. You know, he's training out of Africa. They're not. Yeah, exactly. He's right. Leon said the same thing. Yeah, I don't see you have a problem with him. DDP is the first African champ to train, and he's born out of Africa. You know, it is what it is. They're the ones that are making it. Oh, Dricus is a white guy, and it's a colonialist thing, and Dricus is a racist. When you cried after Izzy got his ass beat by Mavov, it was one of the funniest things I've ever seen. Keep up the good work. Yeah, I think that's enough. But you guys get the point, right? So, I mean, we could read more. Lamau, they still hung up on those comments. I mean, yeah, why did Usman even have to bring this up? He's like, yeah, let's address this now. Like, how about no? You don't really have to address this right now, Kamaru Usman. Those comments were said 2 years ago. Like, Dricus is the only African champ who was born there and still actually lives there. The others left to America, Europe, and Oceania. He's the first African champion. I agree. Okay, now I hope Marty gets slept. He will, probably. Again, I still like Kamaru Usman. You know, I still like Unk, but, you know, he's a bit retarded, clearly. Habib had his fight camps in America, and his co-trainer was Mexican. Does that not make him the first Russian UFC champion anymore? Low. The mindset people have regarding this is so fucking stupid. Here's the thing. There's only two African champs, and Usman ain't one of them. DDP is more African than Adesanya. He's black from the belly button down. That's what I heard. Let me stop. They got so mad about this when DDP meant he is the only one that actually lives and trains there. That's what he said. He never said like, yo, they're not real Africans. It's not what he was saying. He was saying that he is a true African because of the fact that he actively lives, trains there, and once he wins the belt, he's going to take it there too. I didn't see Israel Adesanya bring his belt to Africa. Maybe he did after these comments, but let's be honest, man. He's not as African as Dricus, I think. These people are intentionally being stupid about the situation. It's just like Izzy claims he's New Zealand's champ. All DDP was referring to is he's the only one who still lives and trains actively in Africa. If they can't understand that verbiage, then it's on them. Exactly. He didn't say anything more than that. He wasn't talking about their skin color. It's like all these guys, they made it about their skin color and the way they grew up. I know Abdul Razak Hassan, he was raging, calling him a bitch and stuff. Brother, why are you raging over this? It's a simple comment. Like, it is what it is. It is what it is. That's about it. I want to move on from that topic before it gets a little bit too dicey. It's already gone too fucking dicey. It's already gone a bit too dicey. But let's move on to his comments about Belal Muhammad. So he doesn't want to fight Belal Muhammad anymore. Let's just listen to this.
And I don't know if you saw, but Belal Muhammad, after he lost his belt, he said there's a lot of interest in fighting you. And is he in your plan to get back to the world title?
Now here's the thing:
he's gonna turn into Yair Rodriguez here, boys. Listen.
When Belal Muhammad was champion, there was a reason to fight Belal Muhammad, right?
What a stupid take. Brother, you have beef with the fucking guy. He has a better resume than you right now. Right now. I'm not saying all time. I'm saying right now, like he's on a better winning streak. I know he just lost, but I'm saying like, you know what I mean? Like it's just like there was no reason to fight Belal Muhammad before he was champion. It's like, what a stupid take. You have beef with the guy. It's personal with you. You know, if I see Belal Muhammad, things might go down. This is Usman's own words. If I see Belal Muhammad, security might need to be around. That's what he has said. Now listen to him backtrack. Let's listen.
He had a title.
I'm going to let it play.
Let's be honest here. We're not the best of friends, but I don't wish him any bad. But
we're not the best of friends, but I don't wish him any bad. You said it was on site with the guy. Now it's, we're not the best of friends, but I don't wish him any bad. You made it seem like it was on site. You guys were arguing on a podcast. Brother, now it's just, we're not the best of buddies, but I wish him well. I mean, I know he's not gonna want Belal Muhammad dead. I'm just saying, like, where's the energy of, security might need to be around if Belal is in the same building as me? We're not the best of friends, but
you have to offer me. You gonna give me a side deal? You gonna throw me?
Now he's saying, what does Belal have to offer him? As if like you haven't fought in 3 years, your knees are fucking shot. You're coming off of 3 fucking losses, but what does Belal have to offer you? Retarded.
A little extra cash on the side. If he's going to do that, maybe, but who knows?
Yeah. So the bad blood between you two doesn't give you any.
There was never bad blood. Like
there was never bad blood. Again, you made it seem like it was on site when you see this guy. You guys were gonna go into a 50-45 hugging session if you saw him in person. Oh, we're gonna hug against the wall if I saw him.
Like that was never.
I'm gonna stomp his foot.
Case like. If you really look at the history of, you look at myself and Colby Covington, that rivalry, but there was a story, there was things that are lined up there. With Belal, no, it's just a guy that was in a division that did well, eventually became champion, and then once he became champion, then you really start to kind of hear his voice a little bit more, and at times it was a little bit annoying, and that was pretty much it. But
that's bullshit, man. These guys were beefing for a while. Made it seem like they were. It's on site. The whole. Remember the podcast incident that they don't want to release the podcast. Now he's just trying to downplay it. What he's doing is he's trying to downplay it so that if that podcast ever comes out, it's gonna. Well, but I don't really care that much. You know, I was doing it for the cameras. That's what he's doing. He's trying to downplay the beef of Belal. Even though literally a month ago, if I'm in the same building as Belal, it's on site, bro. I'm going to fight him.
There's no necessarily bad blood between me and Belal. You know, I wish him well. If he's champion, or if I'm champion, I'm sure he's going to want to fight me. If he's champion, I'm going to want to compete against him for sure.
You know, so I guess he doesn't rule out a fight against Belal. My point is, it's just stupid, man. It's just so stupid. It's like it's the Yair Rodriguez thing. Oh, what do I gain from fighting him? You guys got beef. But now what he's going to do is just say, oh, but the beef was never really serious, though. Yes, it was, according to you. Yeah, if security's around, they better hold us back if me and Belal are in the same building, bro. That's the energy this guy had. Now it's a completely different tone shift. Just because he's coming off of a loss, what is it? It's just stupid. It's bitch-made mentality from these guys. I know, ironic, me calling them bitches when they're literally fighters. I get it. They would all beat me up. Except, like, I could probably beat up, like, they all could probably beat me up. Maybe I could beat up like a women's fighter, but I don't hit women. You get my fucking point. I'm not John Jones or anything. My point is, I could probably be Matt Schnell, right? Anyways, my point is, all these guys, Usman's being a bitch. He's being delusional. He's being a bitch. And he's just backtracking. Oh, it was never really beef. Yes, it was, according to you. And then this whole thing about the African thing, the real African champ, which he never says. He never really says that. And then, why does it take so long to scroll up? That was just going so slow. He never really says that. He doesn't say the real African champ, the true African champ. He doesn't say this. It's a completely overblown thing. It's not about racism, Israel Adesanya. It's not about race. It's not about anything. It's about the fact that he's representing his country better than you guys ever have. You guys claim to be African because you guys like to have that sort of fan base. It is what it is. It's like if I fucking spent 10 years in Dagestan and then just claimed I'm a Dagestani. 5 years even. A couple years in Dagestan and then I come back, oh, I'm Dagestani. It's like, come on, dude. It's not even that, because these guys, if you're really African, Usman and Adesanya, walk out with the African flag the way Dricus does. Train out of Africa the way Dricus does. Live in Africa the way Dricus does. Don't just have all the glory of calling yourself an African and having the African fans back you, but then you don't give nothing back to them the way Dricus does. The way he literally fights over there. It is what it is. Don't call me a racist, please. Joaquin Buckley is one of my favorite fighters, so that means that I'm not racist. No, I'm kidding. But seriously, that's all I wanted to show you guys today. Pretty simple discussion. I think Usman is an absolute retard, in my opinion. I like Kamaru Usman. I think he's kind of turned a new leaf for me. He's kind of turned around his personality a bit. I've enjoyed him once he lost the belt. Maybe it was just the belt that made him insufferable. I'm not sure. But now he's just, this media week, whatever you want to call it, has just been awful from him. So that's all I got for you guys. Make sure you guys like and sub. Become a member in the description. And Dricus is the true African champion. And hopefully, Joaquin Buckley puts Kamaru Usman out cold, just like Leon did. Peace.